Welcome into another new episode of Let's Talk on Blue Ridge 11. I'm your host, Chad Landers. Really appreciate you checking out the show once again. Now, we've got a stretch here this fall where we will be churning out a bunch of new episodes. Some great guests are planned, so stay tuned for those announcements in the following weeks. As for today, let's get the show started, and here we go with episode number 5. My first guest made a name for herself playing field hockey in Manheim, but after a successful college career down south, she now resides across the pond. Let's welcome to the show, Manheim Central grad, Jillian Wolgemuth. Jillian, how are you? Thanks for coming on Let's Talk. This is going to be our first ever international chat on the program.
Hey Chad, I'm doing really well. I'm excited to talk with you.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you. Glad we could get you with the time differences here. And I did mention it, you're overseas, you're working a bit, you're doing some playing of the field hockey. Fill everybody in. What are you up to these days?
Yeah, so thankfully after I graduated, I was able to get a job that I do remotely, which has allowed me to move here and kind of train pretty much full time with the team here. Thankfully, the club was able to support me, and so I'm playing with the Beast and Bees in Nottingham, England, in the evenings, and we're in the Premier League, so it's pretty good competition. And then during the day, I'm able to do my job through my computer.
Wow, okay. Do you think more people from over here could potentially come over and do what you're doing there, playing on some international teams? Is that a thing that's going to happen now?
Yeah, it's starting to become more popular. We have a couple of girls who are now on the national team who are actually over here. Like Carrie Hanks played for Beeston the last 2 seasons before making the national team in December. And there's actually a couple U.S. players in England and Northern Ireland currently playing.
Okay, well, you're talking about Team USA and field hockey. We've covered them here at Blue Ridge 11 for quite so many years, just recently when they were doing the FIH Pro League. So what are your goals and your plans there? I know you're in the developmental system a bit. So how does that work for you, and what would you ultimately like to do?
Yeah, so the end goal is definitely to make the national team and just play at the highest level. That's been a goal of mine since I was a little girl through Manheim and Duke. But currently I'm on the national team, which is a good opportunity to be able to play with some of the other girls and train with them when we're not separated due to COVID, naturally. But yeah, so hopefully there'll be a trial in January or maybe this summer or in the coming months to be able to make that team and play with them.
Okay, so they are trying to figure out the current U.S. team, not going to be in the Olympics in 2021, but there is an Olympics coming up in 2024, the Summer Olympics in Paris. So, would that be something that's on the radar there for you? How would you enjoy going to Paris to play in the Olympics?
If it was my choice, I would love to go to Paris and play. Yeah, that's definitely a goal, and obviously the national team is like the highest level of hockey you can play. So I don't know if it'll happen. I'm shooting for it, but really just enjoying my time in England right now, playing and getting to just keep playing the game I love while I still can. Yeah,
that's awesome. Well, we can rewind to your college career a little bit. It just wrapped up this past season. You chose an ACC school, Duke University. So back at the beginning of that, what went into the decision to choose to go down there?
Yeah, there were a lot of factors, as anyone will tell you in that decision. For me, I was looking for a place to play the best hockey I possibly could. The coach was really important. I love Pam Buston. She knows the game very well and is really good at just like coaching and teaching. And then the girls on the team, that was a really important factor for me. And I really had some great friends on that team. One of my best friends who's actually on the national team currently is getting married soon, and I'm excited to do that in December. And also the high levels of academics was important.
Oh yeah, for sure. Duke is well known for having that high level of academics. And in your playing career, 78 games there as a Blue Devil was from 2016 to 2019. Senior year, I read that you were the co-captain, you got to anchor the defense, you did receive all ACC honors. So when we wrap up that Duke career, what was it like being a Blue Devil? How was that for you?
Yeah, I think it was an honor to wear that jersey and walk out on that field and know that you're playing at the highest collegiate level. I loved it all 4 years that I had there. The program as a whole is great. Duke athletics, it's really just a special thing that I'm very proud of.
All right, we've all heard of the Duke-North Carolina rivalry. I'm assuming it's just as intense in every other sport, not just basketball. But UNC's field hockey team, currently the two-time defending national champs. Many of them have gone on to play for Team USA. What's it like playing in that rivalry?
It really is like nothing I can explain honestly. And obviously field hockey is less like popular than basketball games, but no matter how good either of the teams are that year or what our records are, both teams show up to play. And it's a fight every single game, and it's a fun fight. We love each other off the field, but obviously on the field it like is very aggressive. Everyone wants to win. There's so much pride in that. And those are some of my favorite games from college.
Yeah, that's really cool. Well, one of the U.S. field hockey players that I've enjoyed watching lately, you faced her, you had to have faced her. Give me a reaction on playing against Erin Madsen.
I love playing Erin, honestly. And I don't know why. I really enjoy playing Erin because she's just an excellent forward. And anytime she has the ball, I know that it's going to be a challenge, and I'm like, okay, bring it on. Let's see what you got. Obviously, she made me look silly multiple times on the field, but there's a couple times I was able to put a stop to her attacking skills. But always a good time to play Erin, and she's a really nice person.
Yeah, she's part of that UNC team, part of that rivalry, and is only a junior and is still receiving all kinds of offensive awards there in the ACC. Real quick, got to sneak this in. Did you ever go to a Duke-UNC basketball game?
I was never fortunate enough to sneak in, but honestly, watching it from K-ville is almost as fun, so I can't complain.
That's something I've always wanted to do. I'm unfortunately on the other side of that, but we won't get into that here on the show. Still want to keep the relations tidy here. Hey, let's talk about your high school days. That's one of the reasons we wanted to have you on. You played for Manheim Central 2012 to 2015. You finished your career with 74 goals, 51 assists. So you had to play some offense there. Currently in college, you switched to defense. So what did you like playing offense there for the Lady Barons, and how was it at Manheim Central?
Yeah, I loved being a part of the TAC at Manheim. We had a good time. We made some things happen. Obviously, high school is a little different, and most girls in college find their more like their true role, because in high school you tend to play that center mid position, able to do both the attack and the D. And I definitely enjoyed attacking, being able to really put some balls in the back of the net. But I think at my heart, I'm definitely a defender, and I can't get away from the backfield.
Yeah, it did sound like that from the people we talked to. They said you really just have excelled and gravitated towards the defense. I want to bring you back to 2015. You guys had a good run in districts. You made it into states. You finished the season 19-5, so pretty good there. How memorable was that senior year for you?
Yeah, I think what made that year so special is I forget who we beat to make it to states, but I remember beating that team and realizing that it was like the first time in a number of years that Manheim had made it to states, and just being so proud that we had built something that was good enough to play at that higher level. Obviously, I love challenges, and so that was one of my goals going into college or high school, was to take a team or be a part of a team that made it to states. We didn't make it super far in states, but it's okay. Building up and having a season that was so successful, as you said, we were all really proud of that team effort to get there.
That's awesome. I'm glad I could take you down memory lane. Here's one last thing for you. This past summer, we were compiling our lists of the best field hockey players from the last 20 years. You made it on the countdown, number 8. You were the only Manheim Central representative there, by the way. It was a tough list to get on. So after hearing that, seeing that, how did you react to the news of making the list of the top 11 players of the last 20 years here?
Yeah, that's an honor, especially because you guys are obviously like news coverage that has, or a network, that's covered a lot of my career. So it means a lot. I'm excited for the future to see what's to come, but it's always enjoyable to look back and look at all the successes of the different teams I've been on and been fortunate enough to play with. So thank you.
Yeah, it was a fun list. And Jillian, thank you so much for making some time coming on Let's Talk, chatting about your field hockey career. Wish you the best of luck. You've got a lot of future plans, a lot of goals. So wish you the best of luck there. And hopefully one day, love to see you in the Olympics.
That is the goal. Thank you so much for having me.
How about that? We're taking this show international, and I am absolutely loving it. Really fun to catch up with Jillian. She's had a great career and could be headed for a spot on the U.S. Olympic team, so we will definitely keep an eye on that. We've also got more show here. Let's Talk coming your way after the break. We're taking a trip back into the 90s to visit with a Cocalico athlete who had quite the high school career. Stick with us. We'll be right back.